Good evening, guys. Part two of the wrap for tonight. And I'm going to just keep these points short and simple to try to firm up what I started earlier after the bell. XLF, go ahead and ignore this wild upper wick here because it's obviously a bad print. It'll probably be out of there tomorrow. But as you recall, what we had been talking about on XLF, the one that tipped us off to distribution back in June, we were wondering what was going on with all this accumulation we were seeing over the last 10 days while the market was crashing. Why was so much money coming into the financial fund when fear and loathing was at its height and everybody was screaming and crying, "Mommy, make it stop"? Big money was piling into the financial sector fund. I think now we know why, don't we? Now, clear lower wick today. The body's too big for it to be a true hammer candle, but nonetheless, it does show that the buyers pushed the sellers back. Balance of power strongest as we've seen it in the XLF. Look at the trading volume. Quite incredible. What about the other five white guys who run Wall Street? What about Bear Stearns, the one that started all this trouble? Oops, look at that strong balance of power and buy candle. What about Merrill Lynch? Balance of power and buy candle. What about Lehman Brothers? Balance of power and buy candle. What about JP Morgan? Big bull engulfing candle, mainly retail, doesn't have the balance of power color that the other ones have, but nonetheless extraordinarily high volume with a great big candle. What about Goldman Sachs? Hammer candle, 15-point run off its lows today. Appears to be retail, but time segmented volume turning up. Look at the incredible trading volume in Goldman Sachs. That wraps up the discussion of the five white guys who run Wall Street and the ETF, financial sector exchange traded fund that's been all balance of power for the 10 days during the crash, and lo and behold, here's a 300-point bounce one day before options expiration. No, it wasn't a scam. It's just a coincidence. Let me leave you with one other thought for tonight on the hammer that I showed you in the Dow and some evidence that it might be real. And why don't we simply go through our main trading basket of 21 stocks and see what we have. We could start with Amazon, hammer candle. Crocs, hammer candle. RIM, hammer candle. Baidu, hammer candle. Garmin, not a hammer candle, just a high frequency doji. FC Stone Group, hammer candle. Cummings Incorporated, CMI, big hammer candle. CME, Mercantile Exchange, big hammer candle, although it looks like they were selling it. Look at the way the buyers pushed the sellers back. First Solar Corp, hammer candle. POT, hammer candle. OIH, hammer candle, big sledgehammer hammer candle. Las Vegas Sands Corp has only dropped 25 friggin' dollars in a week. Hammer candle, right on the 200-day moving average. No hammer for MasterCard, but a nice balance of power at the 200-day moving average. Apple, potential hammer candle. Freeport McMoran, hammer candle. ICE, hammer candle. Nice little 12-point run for ICE off its low. Did you buy it? New York Stock Exchange, hammer candle. Sears Holdings, hammer candle. Terra Nitrogen, which might as well be called nitroglycerin, given the fact that it's down $60 in 1 month. long lower wick, not a true hammer, but a bounce right off the 200-day moving average. Google hammer candle, but a weak hammer candle. Nonetheless, it's there. Goldman Sachs we talked about. And back to Amazon. Does everybody get the gist? Does everybody get the story? Does everybody see that it's just not the Dow? It's almost every single stock in our trading basket. I think you can take a small degree of certainty that the bottom, as I have described it, is in. We'll talk about which one of these we're going to be trading tomorrow in the live channel, and we'll get some alerts going out on them. Forget about day trading them. Now's the time to load them up and carry them for a week, maybe 2 weeks, or maybe go for real money and ride them on up to a reasonable level of resistance. I'm King Cambo. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, and that's how I roll. For Thursday, August 16th, 2007.